G'day everybody and welcome to the M&M show. Michelle, how are you?
I'm great. It is a lovely day in June.
Speaking of June, we have hit the end of June, and of course our word for the month was significance. So the magnitude question is, how has significant played out in your life? Do you want to go first or shall I? Up to you.
I'm gonna throw it back at you, young lady.
All right. So one thing that I've been thinking a lot about is being on a couple of committees. So not something that I've done a lot of previously, and being on these task force for with a certain organisation. And what I've noticed is just how much affirming actually goes on, especially because we've never caught up in person. So it's a lot of virtual stuff. So it's a lot of those emails that say, hey, I just want to say thank you. I got one myself from somebody for helping putting PowerPoint together. And I was like, oh, wow. And when I got that, then of course I was like, hey, great job on this. And what it triggered for me is when one person affirms, it's like a snowball effect, isn't it?
It is.
Judy Murray always says that. She's always on about you just need one snowflake to make a snowball. And then equally, I did send out a handwritten thank you card in the last month as well to somebody who's been a mentor of mine. So, I think because it was our theme, it was more, right. I noticed it more than what I usually would. And I certainly haven't been on a lot of committees or, task force,
right.
And agendas. Like, it's not something I necessarily gravitate towards, but I'm at a certain stage in my life where I want to give back as well. So, so that's sort of some things that came up for me in June. What about you?
Yeah. And kind of like you, I'm not much of a committee board person. I do serve on one board in our industry, and I thoroughly enjoy that. And to your point, there's definitely significance going on. And now that you got the ball rolling, Emma, I'm like, woo, 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 right? I got all this stuff going. So, and you were part of this because we did have our USPTA Florida State Conference, and that is a board that I happen to be on, and it's a great group of people and we are all very thankful for each other and understand the importance of everybody that is contributing to whatever the task at hand might be. Another area that this should have popped right into my head that with some really great significance for me is now that I'm back in the role of cardio tennis for the USTA. There has been a lot it's pretty significant unto itself. And then there's a lot of significance behind that. And to your point, the snowflake turning into a snowball. And I think another word that another word that could go along with that is affirmation, maybe. Am I using that correctly?
That's what the mindset tip was. It was about affirming right. each other, affirming work colleagues, and just noticing the little things.
Yeah. So I received a lot of significance and love with that. So I think that's an excellent example of our word of the month.
Yeah, and just congrats on that, because you are the cardio queen, and you're back where you belong, leading this country in cardio tennis. Never forget the first time I met you, the first sentence out of your mouth, I'll never forget it. There's singles, doubles, and there's cardio tennis. You heard it here on the M&M show. So we hope that everyone had a great month of June, and congrats again, Michelle, for everything that you've achieved to your career to date. And I'm so happy that you're in the industry. And, there's certainly, I was listening to your the coaching podcast interview that you did that's coming out soon, your episode 52. So
52. Congratulations.
It's I've already uploaded it, so it's coming soon. We'll let all our M&M fans know when it is. But you were talking about your sliding doors moment and nearly getting out of tennis altogether. And I just, so that's a little sneak preview of what's coming on the coaching podcast. And I think I'm just so glad that you're in the industry. Yep. So anyway, we hope everyone had a great June, and we'll see you next month.